Physical strength to a battle. Stupid rat! The spirit's thunder! Freezing gale! Requiem and high! I will take out your heart!
Hello! I wanted to do kind of like a quick build update, I guess, for the Corrupted Blood, Corrupted Cry, Paquetes Pact, Warbringer that I put a guide out for like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I put a bunch more currency into the build to get literally just like 3 more levels and a bit more damage. I was going back through the video a little while ago and I realised that the clips that I picked for that really didn't show what I enjoy about the build and what I think is really good about the build, so I figured I would do this and then just sort of give a quick update on what I've done to get slightly worse defenses and slightly better damage, or decently better damage. Again, it was basically just pushing this from level 37 up to level 40, and I did that by getting a +3 Prism of Belief for like 450 divines. I think they've dropped in price like 100 and something divines since I got this, so that's cool. But going from a +2 to a +3 here, and then also getting a pair of complete dogshit gloves that had +2 to the level of all melee skills and +1 to the level of all melee skills, Corruption Enchant, and then using a Copex Orb of Sacrifice to remove an explicit mod and upgrade the Corruption to +2. That gives you +4 total instead of just +2, and that gives you up to level 40. Now, there is still a bug with Paquetes Pact that makes it so that the Corrupted Blood that it triggers is 1 level lower than the skill, because I think it's not taken into consideration the +1 level from Corruption. So, once that gets fixed, it's like an extra 1000 base damage. It's really big. It's a pretty painful loss, but I think Skadoosh ended up having to get like 41, but that's quite a bit more difficult on Warbringer because you don't have the +2 from Ascendancy that Gemling does, so... But yeah. On top of that, I swapped the helmet for one with a Spirit Corruption, at least, I think 25, 26, 27. This is like 2 divines, I think, which allows me to get charge regulation for a bit more armor, because 19% more armor, evasion and energy shield while you have an endurance charge. You passively generate endurance charges with magma barrier as you go through, because when you use resonating shield, you're active blocking technically, so you're constantly able to keep triggering those. I actually forgot to put quality on this, so there's that. But so you have it up pretty consistently, if not all the time. Then on top of the gloves, I basically just masterworked all of the runes that I had, all of the vision runes, for a bit more recovery, so I've got slightly more recovery than I had before, even though I did lose one vision rune. But I do have slightly less armor and also slightly less max life as well. I'm down under 2900. I think I was over 3000 in the and I had to kind of mess around with my resistances as well and get a somewhat shit jewel to get block capped with some chaos res on it. So, but this is kind of just me being like not really wanting to put much more currency into this. I could have easily solved this with like 10, 15, 20 more divines or something like that on a couple of pieces. The biggest issue with this getting to level 40 is the gloves, because these are like 50 divines when I bought this pair specifically, and there's a chance when you use the Copex Orb of Sacrifice that you might actually remove the +2 to level of all melee skills explicit, so you'll just end up with a +2 to level all melee skills pair of gloves that are shit otherwise. So I think it's like a 16.6% chance that it happens, or a 1 in 6, but just something to be aware of if you do decide to do something like this. It can be a very expensive loss if you get really unlucky there. I went through the video, the clips weren't great, so I decided to do a few more clips on sort of more aspirational content, you know, 200% Deli, breaches with extra rares, all of the like pinnacle bosses, bar like a couple of them, because I haven't even bothered touching Abyss this league, so I couldn't be bothered going over to the Well of Souls for Vessel of Kulamak, and also I haven't had any luck finding Breach Hives to get Zeshed, so I figured it wasn't a super big loss to not get those, but yeah, kind of just wanted to show like what I really enjoyed about the build, and those clips in the original build guide I didn't think really captured it, so I have been fighting Arbiter Divinity this whole time while I've been talking, as you may have noticed from him not stopping talking in the background. So, but yeah. Hopefully this gives kind of a better overview of what the build can actually do. And like the defenses are there basically from the start. The only thing, or the main thing that you get from pumping more currency into the build is damage. So if you don't mind doing a bit less damage, you can get even tankier than this, while still having really good damage for a much lower cost. Like the cost of the Prism of Belief that I'm using is like 10x what you would need to spend to get the whole build to feel really good. In the build guide, I could have done everything I've done in this showcase, just with slightly slower single target. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you try the build, let me know. I'll obviously link the original build guide in the video and a few other things like that as well. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll answer basically anything about the game, even if it's not about the build specifically. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.